Are we live? Did we make it? Why does this feel so weird and different? Hold up. I don't. What is up with all this setup? Are we live? It says we're live. I just want to double check because I am having a troublesome time trying to get this thing going. My microphone wasn't working. My camera doesn't want to work or didn't want to work. I can see myself now, so I'm assuming we're going, but I don't want to assume and just kind of go on. And you see me? Howdy, Laura. Howdy. Oh, he's live. Booyah. Booyah. We got everybody. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Whew. All right. I thought we were going to be all screwed up for a while there. That spooked me for a minute there. I hear you. My shower got stuck on hot, so I've been SOL too. Shit out of luck. Hopefully we'll get it fixed tomorrow afternoon. Yeah. Well, that I wish I had that problem at the moment. I just got, oh my God. For the last 2.5, 3 days, literally since I've been back in town from after shooting this movie, I woke up the next morning. I think I got back in at like 10:30, 11 was when the plane came in. And then, it took about an hour to get back up to Van Nuys, where I am up in the valley from LAX. And 11 a.m. the next day, I'm awoken, and my neighbor's like, "Oh yeah, there's a busted water pipe out front." So we've had no access to running water while California is having its first hurricane in, what was it, 84, 85, 89 years, whatever the hell it was. Super easy storm. I grew up in Southeast Texas with actual hurricanes. This wasn't even a tropical storm. This was just a regular Tuesday down in Southeast Texas, but people were freaking out. There was a lot of stuff going on. There was freaking everywhere I went. I saw 2 movies yesterday and Blue Beetle the night before it. Or not yesterday, 2 days ago now. Yesterday was dealing with this damn water stuff all day. I got everything jumbled up, y'all. But yeah, that's all for whatever my excuses, my mishaps, the insanity of the last few days. I guess no excuses or mishaps. I'm just trying to put it on me. There's nothing I could have done, But yeah, it's been a hectic last couple of days. I am glad to be back. Tomorrow we're going to make sure everything's upright and running right, because I don't know why. I guess I was just connecting my computer back to everything again, and the microphone and the camera didn't want to connect for a minute. I just kind of deleted everything, went back and put it back on, and I think we're okay. I hope we're okay. Pretty sure. One way or another, coconut water's got us down pat. Let me go ahead and toss a couple things up here that I should. Here we go. Long story short on all that, though, I have running water, temporary running water at the moment, and we've got cameras and microphones working. So we don't have a huge stream today. It'll actually probably be pretty quick. Dealing with all this crap has kind of put a hamper on the timeline that I wanted to get things done today. Well, grammar's thrown out the window at the moment as well, apparently. Well, the only really bit of news that I have for you, because it is a slow news day, and there are a few other things, but I feel like tomorrow we can actually dive a little bit more extensively into those things, and we get to hang out for a Tano Tuesday, which Schmook and I believe, will be co-streaming talking about grammar, Ahsoka Afterthoughts episode. So same thing like we did Afterthoughts for The Last of Us, we're going to do Afterthoughts for Ahsoka, and you got 2 giant Star Wars nerds to be jumping off of. So if it airs at 6 p.m. tomorrow night, there's going to be a 51-minute episode and a 41-minute episode. So that'll be 6, 7, 8 p.m. Probably 8:30 is when we'll shoot for Pacific Standard Time. That'll be 10:30 Schmook's time. So hopefully we can keep Schmook for a while. We'll keep our fingers crossed on that. We don't want to run him too late into the night. But we'll go as far as we can and as long as we can. And of course, if he can't keep going for that long, I'll be there. And in the future, I believe most episodes are going to be roughly an hour. So we'll shoot for about an hour 15, hour 20, I think, after when they air. And that'll be our afterthoughts for Ahsoka. And that'll be the next 6 weeks because there's 7 episodes. They're releasing 2 tomorrow, 6 weeks, so on and so forth. Howdy, David. We'll jump into other stuff in a second, just hanging out. But for the moment, rest in peace to Mario. The man, the myth, the legend, the guy that brought us Mario. And according to Sci-Fi Quest, he voiced some Star Wars game characters too, starting with X-Wing Alliance in 99. That means he's extra near and dear to my heart. And he's literally been a part of multiple generations' childhoods. Not just our lives, but our childhoods, or at least early adulthoods for probably 3-4 generations past, or back, maybe 5 now if you're talking about the youngins nowadays. However many generations are on this planet, this guy's affected the vast majority of them. And he's not, I just said rest in peace. He's not dead. He's not dead. Scratch the rest in peace bit. I'm just so used to people dying this year and the last year. It's been so dreary and sad and stuff. He's not dead. Not dead. Still alive. Just retiring. This is a happy thing. Guy's had a great career. And he's doing something that he's kind of probably been ready to do for a while. And hey, if you got that kind of cash, you have that kind of hopefully residual still for the guy, he's all right. He's set. And just the joy that he's brought for generations is a good thing. That's a great thing. And I'm glad he was able to do that. Both Star Wars, Mario, anything and everything. That's exciting. I can't believe I just thought he died for a second. He didn't die. I literally put the title. I did all that. Like, he's not dead. I know he's not dead. That shows you how jumbled my brain is. You don't know my brain. I'm an ADD bastard, typically. I've got that going out of each and every pore in this body, and I guess it's heightened at the moment with just a bunch of madness going on. It felt like California apocalypto yesterday. I mean, the hurricane, like I said, the storm wasn't bad, but there was a hurricane. There was a earthquake in the middle of the hurricane, which I was doing some stuff, just trying to get things done, I guess, in the middle of the day, and I was sitting in my chair just in my kitchen. There was an earthquake. I just felt it. I tried to call my mom. I was like, hey, I always tell you I'm going to call you in the middle of an earthquake, and I tried, and no pickup, of course. Like, the one time I'm like, I got you in the middle of one. Like, come on. Nothing. But I found that pretty funny. Yeah, we're hurricaneing out here. There's a lot of madness going on, but that's all right. Let's get back to the goodness of stuff. Real quick. So many volcanoes erupting the last few years, bound to affect the weather. That's got to be part of it, too. I think everything correlates to a degree. I guess now we have to put up with Chris Pratt now. I still loved Chris Pratt as Mario in the movie. I bet you they're going to go for someone that's more... it's somebody, for all the video games and stuff, that caricature, I think, still works better for it. Chris Pratt can do a bit of a caricature. We'll see. We'll see if they hire him. That wouldn't be a bad gig, honestly. If I were him, I'd beg for it, realistically. That's consistent pay every year for one of the most successful selling video game franchises ever. One of the most successful selling franchises of anything ever. Yeah, I would be like, please hire me. I can do the exaggerated voice. Yes. But, I ain't Chris Pratt. But Chris Pratt, you should be going for that role anyway. Anyways, and remember, it's not San Andreas' fault. Oh, no, it never is. I'm not, well, it might be. It just depends on, I guess, which area. It would be worse, I guess, if that was the case. Yeah, no, nature's nature. Things happen. But how was Maine? Maine was so much fun. I had a really good time. It's just a simple little movie. Y'all seen it. It feels like a decently well-made college film, I think. And it's really just a bunch of us friends and one of my friends' mothers that's actually directing it. Like, it's a group of friends putting together. It's literally like a college thing, just a little past college. Just because I guess my friend's mom wanted to do this. And, hey, if you need to call the troops, I'm here to answer, And if I get to act and have a little fun and go get a free trip to Maine, like, oh, yes, please. It was not really a trip since we're, like, kind of stuck in the woods for a week. But it's not really that far from civilization. This time it was a lot of fun because we got to kind of be the the not the upper echelon of Maine for the week or the area that we were in, but people in the local community knew that a film was being filmed. We got a film in an antique store. We got a film in a lobster shack with some lobster rolls, which were delicious. We filmed right outside of like a post office, a church, maybe not a church, maybe that was kind of the same thing. And then we filmed outside of a gas station at a certain point. Anyway, we were kind of all over this town, as well as kind of in the same places we were last time on the property that we were at. And it's a gorgeous place, just gorgeous people, and not necessarily the most pretty people in the world, but gorgeous in the sense that they have just the nicest smiles in the world, the friendliest folk. I don't know. I'm a Texas boy, and usually we know the Northeast to be a bit Yankee, which is a bunch of angry people in big cities. I guess the not so big cities don't have a bunch of angry people. And then again, I know, Laura, you're from Boston, and you do say there are angry folk up there, but the one time I've been to Boston, I fucking loved it. So I don't know. New York City, that's the word Yankee for me at this point. Just ugh. But everybody else, I like. Hey, even George Lucas and Steven Spielberg started somewhere. Thank you. I like those two names. I don't compare me to them down the road, hopefully, but I don't know. That's the goal. That's the goal down the road. Simply said there. What town? It was Poland. Those the water bottles, like Poland Spring water bottles. It was the same town that's from, Poland, Maine, I believe. We flew into Portland. We also went. There was a jet port that we flew out. I guess flew into Portland, flew out of Oxford. I believe something like that. We were in Portland, Oxford, but mainly Poland is the city that we were in, and it was a good time. It was a lot of fun. The week of filming was great. Like I said, I think it's a really good. I think the quality is like a really good little college filmmaking kind of thing. We didn't use the fanciest of cameras. We didn't have time to get into these characters, I guess, the way a lot of other people do. We didn't have those months and months to prepare. We were like, all right, we need this done, and let's go over here and film, get into your characters, and do it. But all that being said, I still really am proud of, I guess, the way it turned out for what we've gotten. And God, I love the team we work with. Most of them, like I said, we're all friends, but the people that we weren't friends with prior, that we had to hire or barter with to be able to come on and work with us, they're amazing. Just great people. I think it was about 18 of us, 19 of us all total. And we had, I think, one of the people from the cast is from Boston. So her mom actually drove down and stayed with us for the week and kind of acted as like our caretaker. She was doing laundry for us. She was cooking us food. Man, it was hog heaven for me. I get to act. I get to talk to film with a bunch of film people while we're shooting a film. I loved it. And when we're not doing that, there's nature. And when we're not doing that, we're sitting on the porch, probably after we're done hanging out for the day, doing all of our work and everything we need to do. And then, maybe having another drink or two, maybe having a smoke or two. And then 2 guys play both piano and guitar. Another guy plays piano. Another girl plays piano. And then 3 girls sing out of the cast. So we've got a very musically acclimated cast. And I know music very well. I've got a great ear for it. I know what's good. I know what's not. I know what's well produced. And I can give you like the intricacies of all that. But I'm not the most musically inclined with my own voice. And I'm not the most musically inclined with instruments or anything of the sort. So I got to be groupie number 1 and sit there and just hang out with everybody. And damn, I had a good time. I just had a great time. And when we're not doing that, all the nature stuff, there's kayaks. You can go swimming. It was just such a cool little place. The last day, which last time I didn't stay up all night because I knew we were trying to get into Boston for a few hours the next day. And I was like, I got to be ready for Boston. And I want to just do as much as I can in that amount of time, because we only had half a day to be in Boston before we getting to the airport. So this time I was like, we're not doing anything like that. I'm staying up all night. So we may or may not have drank all night and smoked all night, of course. But we had to celebrate a week worth of partying, and we ended up a week worth of partying. Excuse me. We had to party and celebrate a week's worth of filming and working and acting and doing all that good stuff. So it was a really nice little reward afterwards. We I think 80% of us probably stayed up, and we were all just hanging out. I think we got done filming at about 2 o'clock, maybe 1:45 a.m. that morning, and I had all my scenes filmed and done, so I was technically wrapped for the trip halfway through the last day. So I had that entire afternoon, and into the night, I probably took an hour and a half, 2 hour nap, and I think it was probably about 1:15, 1:30 that I woke up, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not making up too much noise. Like I hope I'm not snoring and anything. But I wasn't making any noise at all. I was good. And they were filming it inside the cabin that we were all staying at that little bit. And I walked downstairs and was like, okay, like what's going on? What's going on? They were like, we're filming like the last 2 or 3 shots. Like, we're filming the last scene, and these will be the last 2 or 3 shots that we get. So I was like, I'm here. I'm in. Let's do this thing. And of course, that was just kind of a fly on the wall for those moments. But that was just great to watch them finish filming everything that we were going to get filmed that trip at least. And afterwards, I mean, it was party time. It was great. It was really nice. About 5:45 in the morning, we had I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us, 6 of us maybe had a great idea, and we said let's go kayaking, because we'd kayak just for like 45 minutes to an hour, maybe hour and a half, a couple mornings, just while we had a little extra time. Or like let's do a little workout for the morning, And we kayaked. We were at a peninsula, a peninsula and a lake, which was really cool. And we made it to the end of the peninsula from where we were kind of we were kind of at the tip of the horseshoe, one of the horseshoes of the peninsula. And we made it back towards the tip of the bend of the peninsula. And I think we lost one guy on the way over there. He was like, I'm tired, I'm going back. And we had one girl and one guy with us as well. And then me, and then the youngest guy of the crew. We were all going. The 4 of us were like, we got this. And then by the time we finally got to the bend, the girl and I think the oldest guy of the crew were both kind of like, all right, we might go nap. And hell, I had my nap earlier in the night, so I was like, dude, you ready? And the young dude was like, I'm not young. I'm still young, 20, 24. The guy's like 21. So we were all like, I mean, I guess the 2 of us said, we're going for it. Sorry, my head's all over the place. Sorry, y'all. But we said, you know what, we're going for it. And I think we kayaked about 4.5 miles, all said and done, once my watch picked it up. I didn't have my phone on me at all. I didn't take any pictures. But that was amazing. Just spending 4.5 hours in nature like that. 4.5 hours in nature. It was about 3 hours, 3.5 hours, I think. Actually, it was probably 4.5 in total, but I'll get there. Just spending the morning like that. I haven't done that in such a long time. And to do it with friends that you've been hanging out with all week was just such a joy. And I loved it. I loved it so much. I need an actual vacation soon. Not really, I guess, because I've been going so many different places. So I guess it's work time. But God, I just love venturing in nature. I like hiking, kayaking, anything of the sort. And it made me so happy. So we got back from our long kayak venture, our journey. Everybody was knocked out. But that mom of my friend that is in the cast, she had come in at, I think, 9 in the morning, about 9:15, 9:30. And that was right about when we were rolling back up. So we left it like either right before or right at 5:45. And we were out until like 9:15, 9:30. So that was a little over 3 hours, right? Yeah. It was so much fun. So we came back and she was like, okay, I'm gonna get breakfast going. Y'all are the first ones up. I'm so happy. We're like, we didn't go to sleep. And she's like, oh, that makes more sense. You need food then. I got food ready for you. Do I see any giant crocodiles? Do they have crocodiles or alligators? Neither. That was one of my favorite parts about kayaking was where I'm from. When you go kayaking, you have to worry about alligators, legit though. And we usually get a slew of people. We'll get multiple people to kayak or canoe alongside us or with you, you know. You need a whole crew so you don't get attacked, essentially. And it's not like the likelihood of being attacked by an alligator or a crocodile is all that high anyways. But it's safer to be in numbers. And where I'm from originally, Southeast Texas, near Louisiana, if you're kayaking, if you're canoeing, better have numbers, just for the sake of numbers, you know. Used to camp not far from Poland, nice area, beautiful, gorgeous area. Oh, I adored it. Alligators would freeze up here. Yeah, well, I mean, they freeze down south too, but they have a little mechanism, not mechanism. They just put their snouts outside of the ice and can last for frickin' forever. But I don't think it'd be comfortable for them year round. It was chilly at times. I mean, it was still like just 70 at the hottest, so it really wasn't that hot. But like, I don't think 70 at the hottest is an applicable place for crocodiles or alligators. Alligators, particularly, there aren't that many crocs over here on the western. I almost said Western Hemisphere. There's plenty in South America. There's not many in. I know North America, but what about the Northern Hemisphere? There aren't very many crocodiles or alligators in the Northern Hemisphere on the Europe or Asia side of things. Either, is there? Or are there? God, grammar has gone out of my head today. I don't know. I could think about that. I might have to think about that. If y'all have answers, let me know. I don't think so. Off the top of my head, I can't remember any alligators being anywhere in Brussels or Russia or the Middle East or Northern Africa. Oh, I mean, there's crocodiles in Northern Africa. Okay, Northern Hemisphere does have crocodiles. They always seem to make crocodile movies in Maine. Guess it's because of the lakes. Is that where Lake Placid is based? Yeah, there's no alligators or crocodile movies. I mean, there's no alligators or crocodiles up there at all, which is great, which made me so happy to be kayaking. But yeah, that's a good point. Lake Placid feels very Maine-like, especially after swimming in those waters. And those waters are the perfect color for an alligator or a crocodile. It's like just where I was raised, it just being in the middle of everything, I was just like, this is not the right color to be swimming in. It's too dark to be able to see if an alligator's popping up. But I didn't have to worry about it, thankfully, so that was nice. Long story short, though, we got back about 6:15, 6:30 in the morning, something along those lines, and Courtney was there, and she was saying, my friend's mom, and she was saying, well, y'all need to eat because you stayed up all night. And she said, oh, but it's going to take me a minute. Y'all go do something. We're like, well, let's sit and have a breather after this. So they have a little sauna. They have a personal, small little sauna they have built on their property, probably good enough for 4 to 6 people. And I'm in love with this thing. I am in love with the sauna. I want to build one for myself, honestly. Like, I adore saunas, and now that I have had access to one so easily, I need one near me too. But we went and sat in the sauna for I think 20-25 minutes because it wasn't that hot of one. I think it only got to 140, 145 degrees really. And oh my God, it was nice. We did that most mornings though. I started the day with the sauna, which I like to do. But after a 4.5 mile kayak, very nice. And then to top it all off, whenever we got out of there, Courtney wasn't ready. She said, okay, I've got to actually go run an errand real quick. So I think I actually have those mixed up. She needed to run an errand before we went in the sauna. And then by the time we got out of the sauna, yeah, that's right. She said, I got to get to cooking now. Give me like 40 minutes. And we were like, oh, damn. All right. Well, what should we do with this time? We said, let's go swim across the lake. So it was about half a mile to get across the lake. So we swam about a mile after sauning for half an hour, after kayaking for 3+ hours for 4.5 miles. And if that wasn't the best and like most active morning I've had in a long time, I wasn't even tired. I didn't sleep on the way to the airport. I barely slept on the first plane ride. After the layover, I didn't sleep at all. It took me 40 minutes until not 40 minutes. I watched 2 episodes of 20 minutes. I watched the What We Do in the Shadows episode and a Futurama episode that I had missed. And then I think I turned on like a little YouTube and I nodded off immediately whenever I did that. So it took me literally like another 18 hours to even go back to sleep. I was just so happy after being in that kayak, after being in the water like that. I just wish there was more. There are water activities out in California, but they're so far away, and then they're nasty whenever you get there. You kind of have to trudge over a bunch of frickin' heroin needles half the time to get to anywhere. It sucks. It really does. The beaches could be great, and they're frickin' disgusting 90% of the time. I'd like to go to Malibu a little bit more, but then it's impossible parking. And yes, it is clean and pretty and pristine up there, but the people don't want you up there. The locals don't. And if they do, they want you paying a lot just for the simplest of things. There's an excuse for everything. I need to go do these things anyway. Realistically, I just got to get back in the mountains. I got to go hiking. That's what I have. That's the most accessible, I guess, out here and applicable. And I got to get to it. I love that kind of stuff. It just makes me so happy. Anyway, though, let me get back to chat at this. Story done. If y'all have any other questions about Maine or what we were filming or anything like that, y'all let me know. But that's my story of the final day. We started in A, ended at Z, and I think we hit every single little dot along the way, but we made it nonetheless. They always seem to film crocodile movies in Maine. Lake Placid is far upstate New York. Okay. Still, though, the alligators don't actually. How I'm Googling this. How far, I can't spell or type. How far north do alligators live in the United States? As far as North Carolina and as far west as eastern Texas. Their range extends down to southern Florida and includes the Everglades. Okay. Yeah, no, that's exactly what I thought. Yeah, okay. I'd show you the maps, but it's really not. Oh. Well, this says odd alligator sightings. There has been one in Connecticut. There has been sightings in Missouri and in Illinois. Two in New York, one in Michigan, and two in Illinois. There's been one in Staten Island and one in Bayport, New York. That's interesting. But I think there's just like a report, maybe even a singular report. We don't have all the time and bandwidth to go scrolling through all that stuff. But yeah, North Carolina to Texas. That sounds about right. By Lake Champlain. Okay. I wonder if Jay's reenacting the Poseidon Adventure. It'd be pretty funny. Yeah, North Carolina. There we go. Wish the UK's coastal waters were clean. Water companies can't cope with the population increase. Similar, I guess, out here to California, but I would think y'all's would actually be worse just because the island is so populated and has been for so long. Or islands, I guess, but mostly, the island of Great Britain. That's people releasing pets. Who the hell has alligators up there as pets? Is my first question. My second question is, so there aren't any up there? Because if people are releasing them as pets, you've seen what happened to Florida with iguanas and snakes. Alligator classic B movie. I don't know alligator. But just the name alligator would be a great. What was it was a horror movie. Oh, I should know it off the top of my head. Oh, wasn't it Carrie Russell in it? What was the horror movie with the alligator from like a year or two ago? Don't you have poo rivers in the UK? The UK and everywhere they colonize. India has them as well, and I'm kidding. But I would assume they probably have some degree of that, just because where else does it go? What about the crocodiles and sewers in New York? I don't think that's real. They're cold-blooded. Yeah, I wouldn't think so. That's like there's I wouldn't. Sewer alligators. New York. Okay. Oh, booyah. Okay, so the New York Times says this is February 26, 2020. Actually, let me share this page. We might as well. Because honestly, that's a great question. Gators can't take our winter, they're cold. Yeah. Crawl! It looked really good. I didn't see it, and I'm still kind of pissing myself that I didn't see it. I need to. The truth about alligators. Let's share this thing. Let me make sure that y'all can see what I am seeing. Yeah. Nice. I'll put me down there. Updated our terms. Great. The truth about alligators in the sewers of New York. Oh, interesting. They're big. They're vicious. Some say they are albinos because of a lack of sunlight. They're alligators that supposedly infest New York City's sewer system, slithering through the bowels just under the street level, feeding on rats and rubbish, and terrorizing sewer workers armed with guns for self-defense. These gators may be the city's most entrenched urban myth, one that has permeated pop culture and has become a recurring theme in books, television shows, and movies. That century-old myth has spawned hoaxes and art projects. It has even become an official quasi-holiday in the city. Alligator in the sewer day is in February. And the tales are sort of true. The city rescues several alligators a year, typically former pets that have been abandoned after having outgrown their cute phase. Really? With every new sighting, the legend gets another boost. Okay. Where was these? Okay, that's just a bunch. Oh my god, these are going to be all the different reports. Okay. 1980 horror comedy. This is what you're talking about. A gigantic mutant gator. Well, that's kind of cool. Early pornographic films were not immune to the gator legend. The plot, oh, that's funny. The expert on the most durable urban myth. A very cool alligator t-shirt. Ninja Turtles. Yep. Okay. Is owning an alligator legal? It is illegal under both New York State and city law to buy, sell, or own alligators without a permit. Interesting. Okay. Where there was one sentence. It's probably in here. Yeah, this is what I was literally reading. That's the one sentence that got me to this entire article. Experts say the water in New York sewers is too cold and toxic for alligators to survive for very long, especially if they're only eating rats and raw sewage. The conditions have led to myths that special breeds, that the lack of sunlight creates blind albino alligators, and a steady diet of toxic waste produces giant mutant alligators. No, all right, well, that's crazy. That's crazy talk. Yes. Oh God, there are the mutant alligators somewhere. No. It'd be nice if there were. Honestly, that'd be kind of cool. But it's a myth. It's a myth. I live by the coast, but would never go into the sea because I would end up like that guy from RoboCop, the "I'm melting man." He didn't sound like that, but I'm choosing to make him sound like that. Well, yeah. I don't blame you, David. I see. I'm coastal. I've always been mostly coastal, except where I went to college for a little while. Where I grew up is half an hour from the ocean. I mean, obviously we're marshes and swamps and everything, but we're half an hour from the actual ocean, and the beach that we're on is called Crystal Beach. But it just so happens that the Mississippi River flows right into Crystal Beach. So any crystal water that we may have once had is no longer there because the Mississippi River is dirty as hell. And not to mention the extra trash just tossed into it, which makes it tenfold, hundredfold dirtier. It ain't pretty. So we don't swim typically. And whenever the hurricanes happen, they tell you not to swim for like a year because there's so many I'm trying to think of the word. Fecal matter. That's what it is. There's still fecal matter that has been washed out from our sewers and everything from hurricanes back into the ocean, and it takes a long time for it to actually, I guess, get going. And yeah, after a hurricane happens, they tell you not to swim for almost a year sometimes. A myth from the country that gave us Sharknado and sand sharks. Sand sharks and Sharknado. The more, the merrier. Poop rivers. It always comes back to poop rivers somehow. I don't know how we started on it, but poop rivers it is. Crystal Meth Beach? No. Not far off, I guess, in a couple places. There's some meth probably communities around there, but they don't screw up our beaches, which is nice. We probably have one of the only beaches that you can still physically drive on, and yes, it's not necessarily great for the sand, but I don't want them to get rid of it. It's so much fun to you literally have just rows and rows and rows of cars going on. Certain weeks during the year are so much freaking fun down there. There's a certain like Jeep holiday called Topless Weekend, and it's where Jeeps take their tops off, and it's like a big Jeep rally kind of thing. I wish Jeep would actually sponsor it. That way there might be, but someone always dies on Topless Weekend. And, it's never a party until someone dies, but also you don't want people dying on your beaches during like one of the bigger days of the year consistently. So poop river is better than butt plugs. I have to agree. Neither one's great, but I have to agree. But yeah. I would. You don't want the liability of those deaths to be on certain companies, but it would be nice for even the local government to come in and say like, hey, we're going to actually throw something like a party, like or an event or some kind of thing. I think an event or like a 3-day kind of festival or something like that, 4-day festival would be the proper way to do it. That way damages are mitigated, I guess. It does make it not as much fun and wild and insane as it typically is, but hell, we're Texans and the Louisianians come over too. So we're already wild as hell and as fun as can possibly be anyway. So we might as well. I don't want to call for more regulation. I don't like calling for more regulation, but if it keeps people from dying on the beach during party time and it lets us keep partying, I'm not 100% opposed, I guess. Yeah, I'll just watch me like 180 on myself like 3 times in like 4 sentences. But you got it anyway. You know where I'm at. I like to party, and I don't like to be told how to party. But also, I don't want a bunch of people dying. I went to high school in Fort Lauderdale. They blocked off the strip and banned driving on the beach the year before I got there. Damn. Yeah, no, literally, I don't think there's many other places, if any, that I can think of that still do it. There are other Texas beaches that sure as hell don't let you do that either. And it has screwed up our sand a bit, and we keep having to import more and more sand. We actually didn't have rattlesnakes at the beach, and now we have rattlesnakes at the beach because they had to import a bunch of sand that happened to have rattlesnakes in there. Fall asleep on the beach, woke up looking like you've been in a Saw movie. Huh? I don't know. Is that because all the cars running you over? Or I guess I just talked about the rattlesnakes. My mind went to rattlesnakes first. But yeah. Lordy. I don't know. It could all be mitigated golf carts. But it's nice to be able to bring like your truck out there, park up, take everything out of your bed of your truck, set up your little pop-up tent, set up some coolers, set up some chairs, set up a table, and then you have a place that's kind of like home base for the day or the weekend. Some people plant those suckers in there for the weekend, take their truck back to their cabin, and then just walk back to the beach after that. That's kind of what we typically do, and I don't know. I love it. I'm a fan of it. It's also just a bias because I did grow up there and I grew up in that environment, but it's a lot of fun, and everybody go experience it. Go to Galveston. This is my call. If you need a visit, a good little holiday somewhere that's not super expensive, but it's still a really good time, go Galveston. Galveston it up. And you could even hang out in Galveston for a little bit before you head out on a cruise, because Royal Caribbean and a couple other cruise lines go out of Galveston, and it's one of my favorite places. It might be my actual favorite place to leave on a cruise from. Fort Lauderdale's great. Miami's decent. I think we've left out of Orlando before. Possibly. Have I left out of Tallahassee? I don't know. I've left out of Florida a bunch of times, and I whenever I get the opportunity to go on a cruise, that is out of home, Galveston port, it's always the best. It's the smoothest. It's the easiest. It's a lot of fun. A visit Texas and shoot an armored car with a Sherman tank. It's an option. Have I done these things? I plead the fifth. But it's an option. And it's a good option. It's so much fun. I know not everybody likes guns, and there's reasons not to, but there's reasons to as well. And the amount of fun gun things that you can do in Texas, or you can go like rent an hour or go somewhere to a little private facility or something like that, and just literally go shoot the shit. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. Just be conservative with that ammo, as they say. Don't waste it all. But not for me, scared of flying. I'm like MRT, and I get seasick on the River Thames, so no trip for USA. What do you if you get seasick and you don't like flying? Where do you go, David? Do you just stay, I guess, in the UK? Do you ever go venture out of the UK, or are you're stuck on the island? Are you stuck on the island there? Different island. I just like using the Irish accent. It's not the best. It's just fun to jump into. Yeah. That's a good question. Do you just hang out on the island, I guess? Where do you go for holidays? Stay in the UK. Interesting. So we need to find somebody to knock you out and put you on a plane somewhere for a vacation. Is that the best way to do it? Give you enough CBD, or we'll bring you some weed, and then you just sleep on the plane or something. Something like that. I don't know. I mean, if you don't like flying, and you don't if your body's not a fan of going on boats, that seems like the best thing to do. Stay put where you are. It's just that's not the largest region in the world to be stay put in. I'm pretty sure I've traveled the distance of that about 14 times in the past 2 weeks, literally though. Of the entirety of Great Britain, I think I've traveled that distance like many times over the last couple of weeks. And some of that being on planes and things of that sort. Yeah, just that's interesting. Visit Florida and fire flaming arrows at gas cans at Dukes of Hazzard style. See, now the Texas stuff doesn't sound so crazy, right? That does sound fun, though. That sounds way too fun. I'm from the back country at times. It's. I mean, not really, but I can go back country if I need to, and oh my god, is it fun sometimes. But no, shooting arrows and stuff would be great. Even if I got there, I'd be worried about getting back, so I would enjoy holiday. What? Well, pack enough sleep drugs for the flight there and the flight back would be my suggestion, I guess. They've got over-the-counter stuff. They've got greenery, some good old ganja. Or just, I mean, I don't know. Get someone to come behind you with a frying pan right before both flights. I don't know. But you're not far off, Quest. No, he's not. It's great. But see, like, hey, you start talking about Florida a little bit, Texas stuff doesn't sound so crazy. It's nice. You start talking about Louisiana stuff, and you're like, oh, Floridians don't sound all that crazy all the time. But, it's the best of everything. Sorry, correction. Georgia, not Florida, but I'm sure they do in Florida. Yes. Georgia does do some crazy shit too, but it's mostly Florida. LOL, great timing on my part. Howdy, Carrie. I probably can't stay for too much longer. I probably do have to get on out of here, but I didn't even realize the time. It's been a hectic day. Surprise. There's always something going on, but extra hectic in the last couple of days. But I think that extra hecticness coming off of kind of 2 vacations, one in Vegas and one in Maine, the desert, and then lakes, literally polar opposites of each other. Poland opposites of each other, because I was in Poland, Maine. I'm sorry, I'm bad. Yeah, we covered all that. But howdy. Florida man is real. Or I'm supposed to say, Florida man is real all the way through. There we go. Clever boy, clever girl, clever boy. It works either way. I don't. What was that one? Did I know I just chuckled at myself. I completely forgot what I chuckled at. I'm pretty sure that's what you were clever boying there. I started retelling or trying to brief Carrie on the beginning of everything, and my brain went out of whack. You're too young for dad jokes? What? Literally, when I moved out here at 19, I started we didn't do it for very long, but Chambers and I were going to get a podcast going, and I guess we didn't really understand technology and that well. That was more on my side of it, but we couldn't get good scheduling going, and that was kind of annoying. But yeah, we were going to do a little podcast about dad jokes. Literally, as I got out here, I say dad jokes far too often. They just are what pops in my brain, and I speak them after they're appear to my brain. They don't really appear; they just kind of pop out. Clever non-binary. I can't even say it with a straight face. I'm sorry. Or want to get canceled? LOL. True. Very, very true. I just. It doesn't roll off the tongue like clever. There's clever girl, clever boy, clever non-binary. It's we've covered our bases here. Honestly though, on that note, I might call it a day. I'm having a lot of fun. I wish we could just hang out a little bit longer and just kind of catch up for a little bit. We will do this all week though. We will do some catching up and the rest of the streams for the week. Now that I have access to running water again in my house and back from these vacations and everything, I think we're going to be able to do these streams to the degree that we would like them to. Tomorrow, I am ecstatic. Once again, Ahsoka is coming out on TV, and it is premiering at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we're going to shoot for, I think, an 8 or 8:15, maybe 8:30, but probably 8 or 8:15 beginning time for our Afterthought stream. And then we're going to do a Movie Tuesday tomorrow morning as well. I'm going to shoot for about a 10:45, that normal time. Getting back to normal time. We got this. No more craziness in the world. Keeping it simple. We've got our coconut water. We've got to get back to this routine. We got the right ingredients. Now we just got to bake the cake, right? Or pie. Or why can't I think of what it's called? My brain completely just brain farted. I'm glad the brain fart happened at the very, very tail end of the stream. What do you call it when, like, you've got eggs, potato, sausage, cheese, casserole? There we go. We're baking like a casserole. God damn, that was hard to cut off of my brain or get out of my brain. Whoo! Whoo! I hope that made y'all chuckle, because good Lord, that hurt my head for a second there. But glad you're back. Thank you, Laura. Great live as always. Looking forward to Ahsoka. I'm just so excited. I've got a Star Wars shirt on right now, of course. LOL. Yeah, I knew that might be a little bit chuckle worthy. My brain hurts. When my brain hurts, I know the chuckles will come. But it's entertaining that way. Real quickly, Let me go grab my. Actually, no. You know what? No, I'm not gonna show you. I'll show you tomorrow. I was gonna show you the shirt I was gonna wear tomorrow for Tano Tuesdays is what they're calling it. So I'll just wear it tomorrow. That's the best plan. I think best plan of action there. This coconut water is making me burp now, though. Let me go ahead and roll the intro/outro. Thank y'all again for being here. I appreciate the hell out of it. You know what I'm trying to say. God, the words aren't going, but we're having fun, and that's what matters, Great seeing you again. I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow, both in the morning and the evening. It's going to be a good one. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good spiel stuff that I always forget to say until right now. The goal is 500 subscribers so we can monetize. The goal is 50 likes for each and every video at the moment, and thank you for helping us get just one little step closer. I love y'all. Y'all are the best. 1 second before I do all this. FYI, Chillin is doing Post Ahsoka too. That's right. I might try to get him to come on here. It's just Schmook and I have been planning this for a while, so we'll have to do that. Howdy, Mark. Just about to leave, my man. Sorry. See y'all soon. Yes, sir. But we will be back very soon. Very soon. Let's roll this thing. We out of here.